Inner Doctor, Lungs of Light, Chapter 5. Breathing is the first act you perform at birth, and the last you will carry out when leaving this world. Yet most people go through life unaware that breathing is not merely an automatic biological function, it is a direct channel of communication between the mind and the body. Your lungs are not mechanical bellows. They are delicate instruments exquisitely sensitive to your emotional state and the mental content surrounding them. Every inhalation receives instructions even if you don't notice. And often those instructions are tainted with anxiety, fear, shame, or pressure. The result is shallow, blocked, and tense breathing. And when the body breathes like that for extended periods, it adapts to that pattern as if it were natural. But what has been learned can be unlearned. What has been deformed by negative suggestion can be re-educated by living words. The lungs listen, and what you say to them, they inhale. That is why this chapter has a single purpose: to show you how to breathe words. This is not a metaphor, it's a technique. Breathing words means synchronizing your breath with an affirmation, an image, or an elevated emotion. Intake, it means teaching your lungs that every intake of air is also an intake of life, and that every exhalation is a chance to release not only carbon dioxide, but also toxic thoughts, useless memories, and embedded emotions. Air is not just a gas, it is a vibrational vehicle. And when you breathe with awareness and with word, air becomes medicine. A young woman who had suffered from asthma since adolescence came to me in despair. Her body seemed to resist air. She lived with an inhaler in hand. She slept sitting up. She breathed in fear. I asked her how she spoke to herself during her crisis. She replied, I always say, I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. I can't take it anymore. I explained that this phrase, repeated with the emotion of panic, had taught her nervous system to react by shutting down. It was as if her body said, if air harms you, let's close the door. I proposed a total shift in narrative. I asked her to begin using a breathing sequence with words inhale while mentally saying, life enters me. Exhale saying, I am safe. Inhale, light fills me. Exhale, I release fear. At first her breath was shaky, but after a few days, her system began to respond. Within a few weeks, she could walk without shortness of breath. Within a month, her attacks were sporadic. Her relationship with air had changed, and their physiology. This principle is not foreign to ancient traditions. In Genesis, breath is a symbol of life. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Genesis 2 verse 7. From the beginning of the sacred text, breath is the bridge between matter and spirit. When you breathe, you are not just oxygenating tissues, you are renewing your contract with existence. Each inhalation is a silent affirmation. I am alive. Each exhalation can be a conscious release. I let go of what no longer serves. But if your habitual thought is the world suffocates me, life is choking me, I can't breathe in peace, then the message that reaches the subconscious is one of closing tightly, contracting, and the obedient lungs comply not only out of malice, but out of biological fidelity. Therefore, the only way to undo that pattern is to install a new one. And that new pattern must unite breath with word, body with faith, biology with intention. Breathing words is a simple but powerful discipline. It doesn't require equipment, special places, or specific clothing. It only requires willingness. All you need is to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes, morning and night, to sit or lie down, close your eyes, and guide your breath along with selected phrases. These phrases should be affirmative in the present tense and related to openness, protection, and life. You can use the formula like inhale peace, exhale tension, inhale health, exhale fear, inhale light, exhale darkness, inhale God, exhale doubt. When these phrases are repeatedly associated with the breath, the nervous system begins to perceive them a relaxation commands. The body responds by slowing the heart rate, releasing calming hormones, opening bronchs, expanding lung capacity, and most importantly, generating a new bodily memory. A middle-aged man with chronic anxiety episodes confessed that for years he felt as if the air just wouldn't enter properly. He always felt a tightness in his chest with no medical explanation. When I taught him the technique of breathing with words, his initial reaction was skepticism, but he agreed to try without changing anything else. I asked him to repeat a very simple sequence. For 10 consecutive days, inhale, I am at peace. Exhale, I am whole. By day 8, his wife noticed that his nighttime breathing was deeper, his emotional tone calmer, and his posture less tense. By day 8, his wife noticed that his nighttime was deeper. Yeah, okay. By week 3, his anxiety episodes had halved. By week 5, his body had learned a new way to inhabit air. As always, the word has been the medicine. There is no organ that responds more quickly to the effect of thought than the lungs. They are in direct contact with the environment and are affected in milliseconds by my any emotional reaction. That is why panic attacks first manifest as breathlessness. When the body receives a threat related thought, it prepares for fight or flight and alters the breath rhythm. If that pattern persists, it becomes the norm. But if it is interrupted with awareness guided break and sacred word, the system regulates and the lungs begin to remember what it is to breathe without fear. Now visualize your lungs as two spheres of light. As you inhale, imagine them expanding with golden radiance. As you exhale, visualize them releasing a gray cloud that represent everything you no longer need. Accompany this process with simple phrases. Thank you for the air, thank you for life, and thank you for this moment. You don't need complication, you need continuity. Every time you do this, you are retraining your lungs to associate the act of breathing with joy instead of with struggle or anxiety. And when the mind accepts that air is a gift, the body reacts like a garden receiving rain. It opens it expands, it blossoms. Your lungs are more than organs. They are temples where the energy that keeps you here flows in and out. If you speak to them, they listen. If you bless them, they open. If you educate them with living wind, they return serenity. And don't say again, I can't breathe. Say, divine breath flows in me. Don't repeat, it's life suffocates me. Proclaim each breath, connect me with the peace of God. Change your language and your breathing will change. Change your breathing and your way of living will change. Thank you.